Hey y'all, it's Sherry with Alleged Actually, and I'm back. Today is Monday, so you know what that means. Bravo Monday. So, guys, with the wrapping up of Summer House Martha's Vineyard, I said I was going to be recapping Real Housewives of New Jersey. Y'all, I don't know. I'm not feeling it, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to give you the highlights of last night's episode. And then we're going to talk about the fact that Real Housewives of New Jersey is not going to get a conventional reunion. They're not. And remember I told you guys on the first time I recapped the season that I was really worried about New Jersey? Rightfully so. Okay? So, at any rate, we're going to talk about the episode. Then we're going to talk about why I think, well, we already know sort of why they're not going to have a reunion special. And that's because the cast has gotten to such a bad place with each other. Generally, reunions are to come back and discuss the season, any kind of points of contention or big beefs, if you will, are usually addressed there. Sometimes you reach a level of resolve. Sometimes you don't, but it's discussed. So y'all, the finale episode that they gave us a prequel to on the very first episode, where you see Dolores sitting at the table of the restaurant, where you see broken glass from wine glasses being thrown and all the leftover, stuff from the calamity of the fight that had ensued between the cast, let you know that these ladies are far from any kind of level of resolve. And so, just as I said that I was worried about this season, now I'm worried about them, particularly, period, as a franchise. And to be honest with you guys, I'm worried about the Real Housewives franchise collectively, because there seems to be more and more of the same. And what I mean by that is, for some of your longer running shows, these people have worked together for years. Sadly, with New Jersey, we're talking family members with Melissa Gorga, Teresa Giudice, which are sister-in-laws. Melissa's husband, Joe Gorga, is Teresa's only sibling, her little brother. And so much has happened from when Teresa was married to her first husband, Joe Giudice, to her now new husband, Louis Ruelas. The family structure is broken. And Melissa and Teresa both are clear. They ain't messing with each other. And literally, when you watch them in scenes together, they do not interact at all. All right, I'm going to give you my highlights of this episode really quick. This is not going to be a long recap, y'all. I will not be holding you long today because, quite frankly, I am going to just try to revamp. I don't know that I'm going to continue to, probably not continue to do New Jersey unless something I think that is noteworthy happens and I need to come on here and talk about it. But more than that, I'm having a hard time getting through the seasons, or this season. So my biggest takeaways from this episode, I did enjoy the scene where Frank and Dolores and their children get together. And apparently this is something they do a lot. Normally they're joined by their significant others, Dolores being Paulie and Frank's being Brittany. But Brittany had to work and Paul could not make it. And so the four of them were together for dinner. And Frank wanted to show Dolores and the kids his 14-karat engagement ring that he purchased for his now wife, Brittany. Y'all, that rock was rocking. You hear me? She was beautiful. But the cute part of it all was the fact that when he went to show Dolores and he kind of practiced his, will you marry me? The folks that were sitting nearby kind of thought it was a proposal in progress and started clapping and congratulating, which I thought was cute. I enjoy the fact that they can remain so close and a family Child, to be quite honest, though, their significant others, Paul and Brittany, are very understanding people. But I mean, if you're going to be in a relationship with either of the Catanias, that's kind of what you have to deal with, I suppose. And they remain that way, which seems to work really well for their family. Anyway, I thought that was a cute scene. The next thing, one of the takeaways, is that Melissa and Jennifer Aiden decided to meet up for lunch to hash out, whatever their problems were with each other. And basically, it stemmed from the fact that Jennifer, in Melissa's opinion, was spreading the rumor, or helping spread the rumor, that Melissa cheated on her husband, Joe. It was from Jennifer's perspective that she shouldn't have repeated it, and that she was kind of in a tit for tat position where she wanted revenge because the two of them weren't getting along. And if you remember last season, Jennifer had her own issues with her husband Bill's infidelity coming out, and the group kind of coming at her for that, the embarrassment that she went through. And that was the, I guess the backstory on why they had gotten to the place where they were no longer acknowledging each other. I think that Jennifer wanted to, but Melissa was kind of standoffish with her. But they did talk it through. Apparently, Jennifer still has an issue with her husband, with Joe, but they agreed. And from Melissa's perspective, and I understood this, that she said that she thought that Jennifer's nastiness towards her was a result of her listening to Teresa. The fact that there was something that had happened, and what had happened was, it seemed as though Melissa and Joe had forgiven Bill and, wanted to include Bill, hence, when Joe tried to invite him on last episodes, the episode where he had his birthday party. And Bill didn't go because Jennifer wasn't good with them, and, they were trying to have a united front. So Jennifer's perspective was, the fact that you guys were kind of extending an olive branch to Bill, but yet, you were still mad at me when she didn't, at the point that she was at, she didn't want to have bad blood between them. So to make a long story short, for this, they decided to move forward. And with Melissa, it was the fact that there was a reason for Jennifer to be acting the way she was, not simply because Teresa didn't like her. I get it. Also childish, but anyway. Further on into it, y'all, we also have the whole Marge thing. She lost her ex-husband, and she's grieving, and she does talk to Jen Fessler and Melissa about that. There's a scene where they come over, and she talks about how, in her confessional, that, no man is going to love your children like the father of your children. Jury's out on that, but I do know what she means. There's a feeling that the two parents of the created children that will have, that perhaps the step parent may not. So I understand that. And she was saying, she had this wonderful marriage, mainly, or maybe because of the fact that she had her ex-husband Jan as a sounding board, and that they had this co-parenting relationship with their children, which really are her stepchildren, but nonetheless, she mothered those children as if they were her own. And so without him being that piece of her life, it caused some strain between her and her current husband, Joe. And so she was, just basically venting to the ladies and sharing with them where she was in her grief story. But y'all, here's the thing with me and Marge this season, and I'm not sure if it's for the cameras, for the ratings, her storyline, but she's just, to me, so juvenile in her stance of picking a side of, you can't talk to Teresa, or what are you doing if you're over there laughing with her, or, it just, to me, is so stupid. And this is kind of more of the same of what we're getting from what we had at Potomac. It's now starting to, come that way with Salt Lake City. They were like that. I don't know. I think that she's a catalyst between a lot of that. You know, Melissa certainly is, but she's a lot quieter about it, kind of hopping underneath Marge's leadership. I do enjoy the fact that Jen Fessler and now Jackie has taken the stance of, I'll be friends with whoever I want to be. And that's another point to make, that Jackie has now decided that she no longer wants to have the same beef with Teresa and Jennifer. She's forgiven Teresa about the things that came out about her marriage, about her husband, Evan, cheating on her. Yeah, it's a lot of nastiness. It's a lot of bitterness, backbiting. The positive thing, Danielle is going to be in New York Fashion Week with her line Bougie Kids. And the fact that she cannot bring everybody, she only has a limited amount of tickets. She decided to throw a bougie brunch. She has all the ladies there, y'all. And that's when the nastiness ensues. First of all, but we'll get to Rachel and Teresa. That's kind of how it ends. But you have the whole Jackie and the fact that, well, first it was that Danielle's at Marge's birthday, or it was at Jennifer's birthday party for the dog, where Jackie was excluded. It was yeah. And at that point, that Danielle was excluded. And it was that point that it was a former hairstylist talked about Danielle at this event. It was Marge's event. I apologize, y'all. I'm trying to get this together because, like I said, y'all, this is a hard one for me because I'm really not enjoying this season. But I want to give you guys something, to consider. But Marge has a party, a bougie dog party, whatever, for her little dog's birthday, and all the ladies brought their dogs over, and there was a birthday party for her dog. And the hairstylist talked about one of Danielle's events that she had purchased a ticket to, that she was not allowed in the venue, wasn't allowed to be VIP, and basically disparaged her in her event. And Danielle did not appreciate that. So yeah, guys, at the bougie brunch, after Danielle and that situation was under control, then we talked about the Jackie situation. And then, y'all, Rachel, Fuda, and Teresa sound off. Rachel went in. I mean, she went at Teresa and called her a bully, talking about how she, talked about her husband's past. She talked about how Teresa went around telling everybody that her husband, John Fuda, was the biggest drug dealer in the county. That was something he did when he was in his teens. And she admits that he's made mistakes as a younger man. But, she retorts back to Teresa, you were a grown-A woman and you went to prison for something stupid. And, she just went at her hard, y'all, with a lot of venom. She called her a bully. She called her a stupid bee, a has-been. Y'all, you name it. I mean, she went at her. The thing, y'all, that I thought was kind of crazy, though, was how Dolores kept saying, hey, don't poke the bear. This is not going to end well for you. You're going to have to sleep with one eye open. Because, Teresa was ultimately unaffected. She kept saying she's young, stupid, I'm not going to, engage. And she ends up leaving. But Rachel was activated, honey. She's here for it. She is here for, coming at Miss Teresa. And y'all, that's basically how it ended. Like I said, I was not going to hold you guys long today because I really didn't have a whole lot to say, but I did want to get back to the whole reunion not happening. My thoughts on what they'll do instead, I believe there'll be some sort of wrap-up special where I think they'll have individual interviews with some of the cast, diving deeper into what happened at the finale with the fight, and, from there, y'all expect a pause. Look, Vanderpump Rules is on pause. Summer House, Martha's Vineyard's on pause. You know what happened with Real Housewives of Atlanta? I'm shocked the Potomac is moving forward, to be honest with you. Listen, I believe that after this one and they do the individual interview sessions. They're calling, I believe it'll be some sort of a wrap-up special. I believe, and you guys heard it here first, or I'm sure probably not first. I'm sure my fellow content creators and YouTubers that recap these shows are saying the same thing. At the minimal, expect a pause. I just don't see how they're going to move forward without some new blood, some new changes. We are tired of the Melissa Teresa thing. We are tired of watching them go at it, and her and her brother not speaking, and we're just tired of all of it. Everybody has their cronies, their followers, and you pick a side, and it's very middle school. So I'm going to give this episode a 4 out of 10. I won't promise that I'll be back to recap on this show, but like I said, we're going to add some other shows to the lineup. I also want to talk to you guys about something that I'm really excited about. I am going to be doing some interviews with some co-authors, some ladies that wrote this amazing book about financial freedom for us women. You're changing our mindsets, our relationship with money, thinking about our futures, not worrying about being fly and, having the best and the latest brands, having your nails and the hair and trying to keep up with these influencers and all this, but really worrying about your future. And I want to do more segments that I'm going to bring you on thought-provoking things that are going to help and add to your life. We love reality TV over here. So don't get me wrong. I am not going to stop doing recaps. That is what I do. But I do want to, just like everybody else, branch out. And the interview I did with Mrs. Duhan did really well on Silver Dollar Road. If you haven't, watch it. And that's on a family here in Carteret County that is fighting for the ancestral land against some greedy land developers, child. And what could befall us all if we don't get our affairs in order and have our wishes known and not let what we've worked hard for fall into heirs' property, because it causes all kinds of unnecessary, heartbreaking, and literally the loss of what you work for that won't go to your loved ones. And so there's that, but we're going to do some segments on, getting financially fit, financially sexy, if you will. And I'm going to give you more of that as we get closer to the interview time. I just wanted to let you know that it's coming, and I am excited to bring that to you. The ladies that have written this book are excited to bring you this very much needed information. And we are in talks of making this a regular segment. So I'd like some feedback, guys. First off, let me know what you thought about Real Housewives of New Jersey. Am I wrong here? Am I out here on an island by myself? Give me your thoughts. Did you watch? What'd you think? What do you think about the fact that they're not getting a reunion, that it's canceled? Let me know in the comments. And also, guys, let me know about what you think about my interviewing segments that'll be coming up with these authors. I can't wait to share it with you. But guys, as always, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Keep coming back. Please take a minute. It's very, very easy thing to do to support Alleged Ashley. Just hit that like button, share it with your friends, and go ahead, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Thanks, guys. I love you guys, and I'll be back to drop some more content. You guys have a beautiful day. God bless.